Coming up this morning, recent flooding damages a building used to teach crafts and host art galleries. Meanwhile, the owner of a car dealership has to move fast to save his business from flooding. And rivers and lakes in eastern Kentucky reach record levels after all the rain.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:59 on Wednesday, February the 27th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning into Mountain News this morning. Well, yesterday was a gorgeous day and today is setting up to be quite the same, but enjoy it while it lasts. Let's bring Brandon in this morning. And Brandon, we could start to see the winter that we've been missing out on for a while at the end of this week, possibly.
Yeah, exactly. The long-range forecast showing much colder air coming into place. And just like you said, enjoy today because, and you know, what goes up must come down. Let's take a look at the camera network this morning. Pikeville Medical Center first, and a beautiful start to the day over downtown Pikeville this morning. We come back to McKee over in Jackson County. Things all quiet there as well this morning. Just a little bit of traffic moving around over the last few hours. Satellite radar, maybe a few high clouds this morning across parts of the area. Some rain down toward Kingsport there as that system, that high pressure, starting to break down and move off to our east. Temperatures, big contrast, as I've been saying all morning long. 29 Monticello, 30 Somerset, 33 London, 31 here in Hazard, but 40 in Pikeville, 45 over toward Wise, and close to 40 there in Logan, West Virginia. Your day planner for today, temperatures are climbed quickly, especially once that sun comes out. 65 for a daytime high a little bit later on today. The rest of that forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, months of work gone. The recent flooding hit one community in Johnson County hard. The Oil Springs Cultural Arts and Recreation Center, also known as Oscar, received a lot of damage. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher talked to the renter, who says this is a heartbreaking situation.
Supplies ruined, power tools destroyed, and tiles flooded.
Oh, I just cried. That was just heartbreaking.
Floodwaters hit hard in the Oil Springs Cultural Arts and Recreation Center, also known as Oscar.
The community has put so much work and effort into this building, and I just was like heartbroken because it's like, this doesn't happen here.
Rebecca Clay is renting the bottom half of the center.
So when the floodwaters came and it was caked all over everything, it was just heartbreaking.
Rooms are used for craft teaching, artist galleries, and a photography studio.
I just feel like it's different as opposed to a grocery store, things that are commercially bought, as opposed to someone's local handmade things.
Now Clay and a few others are cleaning up what's left behind.
A percentage of every workshop goes to fund this building to keep the lights on.
But she still keeps a positive attitude.
We've lost supplies and things like that, but nobody was hurt, so we're very thankful for that.
During this rough situation in Johnson County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, the Oscar Center is a nonprofit organization. If you would like to help them out, you can contact the Route 23 Cultural Heritage Network at 866-217-8299. Well, one Wolfe County car dealership general manager even saw water getting into his car lot and had to move fast to stay ahead of the elements. Take a look at this video shot Saturday night outside Mann Chevrolet Buick. As you can see, a good portion of that parking lot is completely underwater, and on the other side you can see the water had almost reached some of the trucks.
Cars were pulling off the side of the road to help us. We had to get keys and everything, of course. And once we got everything keyed up and got everything moving, it started getting on the lot. So we probably had 15 people helping, and it was just crazy, just insane.
Now, Price says firefighters came out to help clean the mud off the car lot, and despite the flooding, they do remain open. I was actually out there late Saturday night, and there was some pretty bad water rushing through there. Well, Estill County has multiple roads that are still flooded and impassable. It is forcing some people who live there to make major adjustments just to get through the day. Now that the water is starting to recede, George McIntosh made his way back home. He and his son left Friday in a truck. They returned yesterday by boat.
The rise in the water was quite fierce, really. It started coming up real quick. And we've been here long enough to know that when it starts rising like that, it's time to get out.
Estill County schools were among several school districts that were closed yesterday due to flooding. Well, in Laurel County, the Daniel Boone National Forest posted new pictures of high water at Laurel Lake. They say Regina Roby took these pictures on Sunday from the spillway and dock. You can see the water is almost to the top of the spillway, and the dock is almost completely submerged. Now, the Lake Cumberland is beginning to slowly go down. As of this afternoon, the water level at Wolf Creek Dam was about 756 feet above sea level. As crews work to control the historic water levels, anyone living downstream on the Cumberland River is facing flooding issues. Now, a new record of nearly 56 feet was reached on the Cumberland River in Burkesville early Tuesday morning. At least 12 roads are impacted by the high water, but most of the homes with water in them are vacation or secondary structures. Well, if you've headed out to Buckhorn recently, the lake is extremely high there. While it is not at a record-breaking level, it's still an interesting sight. Here is some video shot yesterday. The lake was at 832 feet above sea level. That is 50 feet higher than normal. It is causing flooding in Leslie County. WYMT's Macy Marie talked to a teacher who cannot make it to work and says this is the first time she has been trapped by high water.
You cannot drive down Kentucky 257 as water is over most of the road. Many people living out this way in Leslie County are surrounded by water and stuck at home.
This is the highest that I've ever seen it, and I've lived down here all my life.
These conditions making it impossible for some to get to work.
I'm missing work. I teach special education, so I'm not only missing out on helping my students, but I have a great deal of paperwork that I'm getting behind on.
Tracy Lewis lives in Dry Hill. There's only one way getting in and out of her driveway.
I do not have a boat, but I will be purchasing one as soon as I get out.
Lewis says she's lived in the area her whole life. This is the first year she's stuck.
My mother and my husband are also having to miss work. They're having to take vacation days. I don't even know if we'll be able to go on vacation this summer.
The situation hard not only on her, but the entire family. Lewis says she misses work.
I hope to be back with them as soon as I can.
Ready to be away from the water and back in the classroom.
Now, county officials and volunteers were out delivering supplies by boat to those who are stranded. We have an update to bring you on the US 23 in Iville, where a mudslide is still threatening the road. Crews became concerned about the slide on the top of the hill Sunday. They closed the northbound lanes. Currently, the southbound lanes are used for one lane in each direction. There is no timetable right now on when the northbound lanes might reopen. At least a dozen eastern Kentucky counties have declared a state of emergency, and you can add Floyd County to that list. Governor Matt Bevin has also declared a state of emergency for all of Kentucky. Yesterday, we heard from Congressman Hal Rogers in Washington, D.C.
Well, it's the worst flooding we've had in a long, long time. Roads are washed away, mudslides, rock slides, and the like. It's a horrible situation. It certainly is a disaster over almost the entire state, but especially the east in my district.
And many Tennessee counties also declared a state of emergency, including one many eastern Kentuckians visit. Sevier County, several roads near Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge are damaged due to rock and mudslides. A lane of one road even collapsed. Well, we are not the only ones seeing high water. The Russian River in California's wine country is rising a foot an hour and threatening to reach historic flood levels by today. Some forecasters say it could rise another 14 feet. There are thousands of homeowners along the banks preparing to evacuate. On top of that, mudslides are feared in widespread burn areas from last season's fire.
At least here at home, we're slowly drying out some. A lot of those water levels still going down and some more still to go. But as we take a look at temperatures this morning, big chill going on across parts of the area. 29 out toward Monticello, 33 London, 39 Jackson, 32 in Harlan, 31 in Hazard and Prestonsburg, and 40 in Pikeville. Big difference from yesterday, where some spots are almost 10 degrees warmer than they were at this time yesterday morning. So a touch warmer in most areas. Forecast 65 this afternoon under mostly sunny skies. Some chances for scattered showers around through the nighttime hours, especially as we get later into the evening, getting down to about 41. Will?
Well, thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Hazard Lions Club Montessori is closing Thursday, giving parents only 3 days notice to find another child care provider.